Imagine 1.9 billion euros. Not locked away in a vault, not invested in a soaring tech stock, but simply gone, vanished, like a ghost in a machine. This isn't a heist movie. This is the true story of Wirecard, a company once hailed as Germany's fintech champion, that orchestrated a fraud so audacious, it left a 1.9 billion euro hole in its balance sheet, ruined lives, and saw its COO become one of Europe's most wanted fugitives. How did a company at the heart of European finance pull off a scam of this magnitude, right under the noses of auditors, regulators, and investors for years? The truth is far stranger and more chilling than fiction. Our story begins in 1999 in a quiet Munich suburb. Wirecard started as a humble payment processor, a company that handled the digital transactions for online merchants. Think of them as the silent backbone of e-commerce, making sure your money moved seamlessly from your bank account to an online store. Initially, they carved out a niche in high-risk sectors, which often meant less scrutiny. In 2002, Markus Braun, a sharp Austrian with a background in IT, took the helm as CEO, envisioning a global tech giant. By 2005, Wirecard was publicly listed and even acquired Exiom Bank AG, giving it a coveted German banking license. This wasn't just a payment processor anymore. It was a financial institution, rapidly building an empire of trust and transactions. Under Braun's leadership, Wirecard's ascent was meteoric. They promised explosive growth by processing payments through a global network of what they called third-party acquirers. These were partners, supposedly handling transactions in regions where Wirecard didn't have its own licenses. It sounded brilliant, an innovative model for a globalized world. Investors flocked, eager to be part of Germany's answer to Silicon Valley. By September 2018, the unthinkable happened. Wirecard, once a small startup, entered the prestigious DAX 30 index, Germany's blue-chip stock market. Its market capitalization soared to a staggering 24 billion euros. They employed over 5,000 people. Their revenues topped 2 billion euros. Wirecard had arrived. It was the poster child for German fintech innovation, a symbol of national pride. But beneath the gleaming facade of success, a dark secret was brewing, meticulously crafted over years. So how'd they do it? The Wirecard fraud was built on two simple, yet audacious, pillars. First, fictitious revenues. Imagine a shop owner who wants to look successful, so they invent sales that never happened. Wirecard did this on an industrial scale. They claimed vast transaction volumes, often through those opaque third-party acquirers, many of whom were either fake or controlled by Wirecard executives. Money would move in a circular motion, a financial round trip between Wirecard subsidiaries, and these partners creating the illusion of genuine customer payments. It was like swapping money between your left and right pockets and calling it profit. Second, and most critically, falsified cash balances. To make these phantom revenues seem real, Wirecard claimed to hold massive cash reserves, supposedly 1.9 billion euros, in escrow accounts with trustees, mainly in the Philippines. This was the proof for their auditors. But here's the kicker. That 1.9 billion euros simply did not exist. It was a ghost. The auditors, year after year, relied on documents provided by Wirecard or its intermediaries, rather than independently verifying the funds of the supposed banks. Those banks later denied ever holding the money. Wirecard built a phantom business, generating fake income, and then pretended to have the corresponding cash in non-existent bank accounts. It was a house of cards built on nothing but lies. The house of cards, however, always shows cracks. As early as 2008, a German shareholder group alleged balance sheet irregularities, but a special audit by EY cleared the company. In 2010, the U.S. government even charged a German national linked to Wirecard with money laundering. But the real storm began in 2015 when the Financial Times, or FT, started its House of Wirecard series. Their investigative journalists, driven by whistleblowers, began raising serious questions about the company's accounts. Then, in 2016, an anonymous report by Zatara Research accused Wirecard of money laundering and outright fraud. The company's response? Not to investigate the claims, but to aggressively attack its critics. German regulator BaFin instead of scrutinizing Wirecard, investigated the short sellers for market manipulation. It was a chilling reversal. The whistleblower became the suspect. The FT pressed on, reporting in January 2019 on alleged falsification of accounts and money laundering in Wirecard's Asia-Pacific operations. Yet, the company continued to deny everything, even hiring a former head of Libyan foreign intelligence for sting operations against its critics. How could so many red flags be ignored or actively suppressed for so long? The end began swiftly, dramatically. Under mounting pressure, Wirecard hired KPMG in October 2019 to conduct a special forensic investigation into the FT's allegations. KPMG's report was delayed, and then, in April 2020, it dropped a bombshell. They could not verify the arrangements for Wirecard's outsourced profits, citing obstacles. The cracks had become chasms. Enter James Frice Jr., a seasoned compliance expert who joined Wirecard as Chief Compliance Officer in May 2020. He was on the inside, just as the final audit deadline loomed. On June 18, 2020, the day the annual audit was due, Wirecard's longtime auditor, EY, finally announced the unthinkable. They could not verify the 1.9 billion euros in cash supposedly held in trustee accounts. Wirecard shares plummeted by 60% in a single day. Frice was called in early, joining the board immediately. On his first night, he quickly identified that the claimed 1.9 billion euros likely did not exist. By the morning of June 19th, he informed the supervisory board of the apparent fraud. That same day, Markus Braun resigned as CEO. On his second day, Frice was named interim CEO, facing the unenviable task of navigating the company's collapse. On June 22nd, Wirecard finally admitted the 1.9 billion euros likely did not exist. Markus Braun was arrested, charged with misrepresenting accounts and market manipulation. And Jan Marsalek, the enigmatic COO, instrumental in obscuring the accounts, vanished, becoming a fugitive on Interpol's most wanted list with alleged ties to Russian intelligence. Wirecard filed for insolvency on June 25, 2020. The ghost money had finally brought down an empire. The fallout was catastrophic. This wasn't just a number on a balance sheet. It was real people's money, their futures. Hundreds of thousands of investors, from massive asset management firms and pension funds to private individuals saving for retirement, saw nearly 23.82 billion euros evaporate overnight. Their investments, once soaring, plummeted by 98%. Thousands of Wirecard employees, over 5,000 strong at its peak, lost their livelihoods and jobs almost overnight, with 730 laid off immediately after insolvency. Banks and creditors who lent Wirecard over 4 billion euros faced devastating losses, estimated at 80% of the money they extended. The scandal severely damaged public trust in Germany's financial oversight and corporate governance. How could a Big Four accounting firm like EY audit Wirecard for over a decade and consistently give it a clean bill of health, despite numerous red flags and whistleblower complaints? And how could BaFin, the German financial watchdog, repeatedly defend Wirecard and investigate its critics instead of the company itself? The Wirecard scandal, widely dubbed the Enron of Germany, exposed a systemic failure of checks and balances, leaving a trail of human and financial devastation. The Wirecard saga is a chilling reminder of how easily ambition, greed, and sophisticated deception can unravel the fabric of trust in our financial systems. It's a story of phantom money, ghost transactions. Markus Braun faces charges of fraud, breach of trust, and accounting manipulation. Jan Marsalek remains a ghost, his whereabouts unknown. His alleged ties to intelligence agencies adding a layer of espionage to an already unbelievable financial crime. The scandal shattered Germany's reputation for corporate integrity and left a gaping wound in the trust between investors, companies, auditors, and regulators. It forces us to ask, are our financial guardians truly watching, or are they, too, vulnerable to the illusions of a captivating story? 1.9 billion euro may be gone, but the questions it raises continue to haunt the world of finance.